Football. America's game. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking to make some extra scratch, Nik Rivers likes to pretend that he is the prognosticator of football prognosticators, offering analysis, insight, and his nowhere near expert opinion on who will win this week's NFL games. It's Nix Pix, only on 94.1 The Zone.
All right, greetings, YouTube Nation. Nik Rivers here, and it's time once again for Nix Pix as we roll on to Championship Sunday. Didn't do so good last week, but, I was reviewing the tape, and I kind of picked all the winners, with the exception of the Bills. We'll get to that in a minute. It was the spreads that tripped me up last week, but at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. We're betting with the point spreads. That's where you make your money. If you're going straight up, that's supposedly the easier way to go, and I think it is, because if I had gone with the straight up picks last week, I would have been 3-1. However, I went with the point spreads, and we wound up at 3-1. So that's where we are. So going back to the Bills game too, by the way, people, take it easy on Tyler Bass. I know there was a lot of hate directed towards him. He deactivated his social media, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a game-winning kick that he missed. It wasn't like Super Bowl 25, where if the kick went through, they win the game, no time left on the clock. Kick goes through, the game is tied, there's a minute 40 left. Kansas City had 3 timeouts, and need I remind you what they did with 13 seconds a few years ago. So anyway, I won't talk about the Bills anymore, but just take it easy on Tyler Bass and go donate to the Town of Lives Club, man. That's great what they're doing there. Last check, it was over $300,000 they had raised. So moving on to Championship Sunday, here's what we got going on. 2 games. The first one, 3 o'clock, the AFC Championship to move on to Super Bowl 58. The Kansas City Chiefs, who we were just talking about that game a couple seconds ago, on the road at the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City didn't play a great game last week. They kind of snuck through to the AFC Championship game. However, Baltimore looked dominant against Houston. Now, yes, Houston was a lesser foe, but that offense, man, Lamar, I don't think he can be stopped right now. The Baltimore defense is playing good ball. That's where I think it's going to go at the end of the day. Baltimore favored by 3.5. Your pick here. Take the Ravens, take the 3.5 points, and we'll see them in 2 weeks in Las Vegas as they move on to Super Bowl 58. On the NFC side of things, Detroit at San Francisco. San Francisco, big number for a championship game. They're favored by 7 here. Detroit, they've looked scrappy. They're the Cinderella story. I mean, I've said all season, San Francisco is the class of the NFC, and they still are, but this is where I think the upset comes in. I think Detroit pulls it off. I think they move on to their first Super Bowl ever. Take Detroit +7, and in 2 weeks we'll come back and we will preview a Baltimore Ravens Detroit Lions Super Bowl matchup. So there you go. Nix Picks for Championship Sunday. Follow along online, 941thezone.com. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.